Hey basketball players, I've been actually really hesitant on making this video because of course there's a lot of people who are asking how to defend three-point shooters, but also I'm going to give you some tips on how you can stop me. So number one, when you're trying to stop a three-point shooter, you should very rarely try to block their shot. There's a couple of reasons behind this. So number one, if you're sprinting out and you're known for jumping for three-point shots, namely Chris Boucher and Pascal Siakam and pretty much all the Toronto Raptors, then you are going to be caught out of position more often than not. And what I mean by that is teams scout you. Whether you're a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old or a pro, teams scout you. They're going to be going to games before theirs to see how the other teams they're going to be playing against really play. And if you're caught 5, 6, 10, 20 times in a game running out and jumping past a three-point shooter, guess what? What's the one thing that they're going to do next? Well, they're going to get that ball, they're going to do a shot fake, one dribble towards the side, and take their shot now. And that's what we've been seeing a lot happen with the Toronto Raptors recently. And this is how you should really close out on a shot. You should really close out on a shot by having your hand up and taking stutter steps coming close to that player. So obviously you're going to be sprinting out. That's not going to change. However, the last 5 to 6 feet, you want to be closing out, making your feet squeak. Obviously, if it's not a pavement court like this one. And the reason why is because, for one, hands up, that's going to contest the shot either way. The stutter steps now, if that player, the shooter, does decide to change directions, maybe do a shot fake and then drive, you're taking small steps to close out so that now you can turn and continue to defend that player. Now, if there's only 3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock, or even 2 seconds left on the shot clock, that's when I would give you full permission to go and try to block a shot from the three. Just do not jump into that player. You want to, let's say that player is shooting with his right hand, you want to jump by his right side, not into him. You want to have a good foot beside him. The reason for that, if you're tall enough, you can still get your hand over there to block. If you're short enough, if you're too short, then it's just going to contest that shot. But the biggest thing is by jumping into that player, you're going to create a foul and 3 shots from the three-point line or free throw line. If you jump to the side of him and he tries to make contact with you, he's forcibly trying to move over towards the side to catch that contact, then at that point, it's going to be a foul on him unless the referee is terrible. Now, we've all been taught to play defense like this, and I'm not going to say to change that, but if this is a right-handed three-point shooter like me, what you want to do, let's say you're right-handed, which is this side. What you want to do on defense is to try and force him towards his left side most of the time. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, why I said most of the time. But most of the time, you want to have your left hand up, contesting a shot if he was to shoot, but also have this hand down to block a pass, but also to block if he tries to drive in that direction. You can swat off that dribble. So you're coming out, you want to have that hand up, hand down, low. You want to be on your toes as well. Now, some players have gotten used to that, myself included, and at that point, you really need to figure out what that player likes and what that player doesn't like. So, for me, if you were to come out, have that left hand up on my right side, and this hand down, that's totally fine. I'm going to do a sidestep dribble over to that towards that side. I'm going to have a wide open shot. Now, for me to shoot, I really don't like to go right to take my shot. I really like going left and shooting with my right hand. Obviously, I'm a right-handed player. But I am a much worse three-point shooter when I need to take a dribble towards the right side. And that's when it comes down to really scouting out your opponent. So if you notice, hey, he's okay with going towards the left side, or hey, he's been really catching the ball a lot on his left side, then maybe I need to cover that left side, have my hand down like this so that I can stop the crossover and have this hand up like this to block any passes, but also so I can turn and contest that shot. So if that player hates going right, hand down on this side stops that crossover, hand up to contest and block any passes going through. So these are some of the ways that you can stop a three-point shooter and, well, stop me from shooting three-point shots. And at that point, it just comes down to trying to defend a three-point shooter who is coming off of a pin-down screen. Matt Thomas from the Raptors does that a ton, and he can come off of corner pin-down and pin-down screens like there's no tomorrow, and he can turn and shoot. And what you need to do there is you can't just go underneath the screen and say, well, I'm going to defend that, because then he'll just kind of turn back. And then the same thing is following around the screen. What you really want to do there is to follow around the screen and try to get your hand in their face when you're trying to block off either their pass or their shot. Now, just make sure not to make contact with their face, because that would be a foul. Now, I hope that this video has helped you be able to stop more three-point shooters in your next game and future games. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.